Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, the Mullet Man, Travis Hinton. You're watching Five Star Takes, and I'm here to show you what Mullet Mania is all about. Be sure to tune in now on YouTube.
Hi, Shane.
Hello, Dennis.
So I don't know about you, but kind of thinking about last week's episode was probably I think the title is appropriate. It was our grossest show ever, and I just got done eating a little while ago, so I think we're gonna kind of keep that stuff. We're not gonna bring that up this week.
Oh, I could talk about something just as gross.
I thought we decided before the show we weren't talking AEW.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, you said it, not me. I was gonna go with like a horrible, awful. What's the opposite of a dream match? Like a nightmare match.
Charmel versus Jenna Maraska or whatever her name was from TNA years ago. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, no. I mean that happened though. But before we launch the intro video, here's a kind of fun game to play. I'm gonna
I
give
like
us
fun
about
games.
10 seconds, and then think of the worst match you could think of.
The worst match I can think of. And this is something that hasn't happened?
Yes,
Okay, so
it's a nightmare match.
a nightmare match. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think I've got mine.
All right, go ahead with yours because I want to see how you do this. It's to kind of see, and I'm going to play off yours. I'm going to see which the angle you're coming in from, and then I'll come up with something.
Nathan Jones versus the Giant Gonzalez.
Ooh. Any just straight up one-on-one, no stipulation or anything?
No, because I mean a stipulation almost always makes it easier, because I mean they could just hit each other with chairs for a couple minutes and it would be better than them trying to like put together a match. So
okay, so Nathan Jones versus the Giant Gonzalez. And obviously this can be some living or dead, correct?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think that the Giant Gonzalez isn't with us anymore. So
no, he passed away a number of years ago.
Is Nathan Jones?
As far as I know, he still is. As far as I know, he still is. I think he still does movies in that. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we hope Nathan Jones is still with us. I haven't even thought about him, and
just until now.
Yeah.
All right, Nathan. How am I gonna? Maybe I don't know if I necessarily say it. Call it topping that because that's pretty low. How am I gonna sink lower than that? All right. Give me.
Oh, I got another one.
Oh god. Okay. So this definitely. If I would have had a little more prep time, I probably would have sounded a little more prepared. But sometimes we like to put each other on the spot to keep us thinking and stuff. So, all right. Give me. Give me. Oh shit! You know what? Do your other one again, because I'm like trying to think of something so bad.
So my next nightmare match is the last Mae Young run where she was in her 70s
or 80s or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, her 80s versus Nia Jax.
Oh man, jeez.
That's a nightmare match for a different reason.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think I got one. Give me Bastion Booger.
Oh.
Versus. Give me Bastion Booger versus. I think whatever I think over in Europe he was known as Giant Haystacks, but when he was in WCW for that, they brought him to WCW for that cage match from Uncensored. I think they called him like Loch Ness or something like that.
Yes, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, give me Bastion Booger versus Loch Ness.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, that's definitely pretty bad.
Okay, you know what? I think that's something that I wouldn't mind keeping around for a little bit. That was actually kind of what got the creative juices flowing in a different fashion.
Hey,
You know,
listen, I told you we could talk about something just as gross but different.
but see this kind. Well, I mean, it's pretty gross and stuff. But I mean, I could tolerate. You know, I could tolerate. I would rather watch the matches that we just or I don't know if you know if I'd call it fantasy booking,
And
but
nightmare booking.
we just nightmare booked. But I think I'd rather watch those than interact with the stuff that we talked about last week. But
Oh, I don't. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather interact with the stuff than what we did last week than see Nia Jax batter 80-year-old Mae Young.
you know what? To her credit, though, May Young would be the first one to tell Nia Jax to just bring it on, bitch.
Yeah, but then Nia would. I mean, Dennis, it's a scary thing to think about, And Mae Young was very clearly a very tough woman.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to question her toughness at all. But all you have to do is take a look at Becky's, like Becky's whole gimmick and career was making off of Nia Jax destroying her face.
You're right about that.
I mean, I don't want to say her entire because obviously the character was in there and it just needed a vessel. But
And that was
Nia absolutely fucked Becky up. I mean, bad. If she were to do that to Mae Young would, I mean, at the time in the 80s would, I'm not a doctor, but I would venture to say it would be like Becky, but probably worse.
Yeah, because she probably would be dead then.
I mean, you said it, not me. But yeah,
Let's say it.
yes, yeah. I mean, 2 weeks in a row, strange starts to the show, and 2 weeks in a row, the intro video hasn't been played until 7 minutes in. So,
And 2 weeks in a row, we're doing all this weird stuff, and Isaac's not even been a part of the show. So,
well, I mean, that one
very
started normal, and then ended up with Nia Jax battering Mae Young to death. So, yeah, just roll the video, and then we'll talk about Sammy and Kevin probably killing each other.
well, you heard it here from Shane's head. Let's start the show. Oh man, that was an interesting way to start out the show, but don't as bad as that stuff was. Don't be surprised if we bring it back next week.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we're looking to go 3 in a row for new and interesting ways to begin the show, and if we're blessed with Isaac's presence, I mean,
And all bets are off.
Yeah, I mean, all bets are off. Pants will probably be off.
You know what though, if you don't mind, real quick, we like to joke and have fun here and stuff, and a lot of times, Isaac's usually at the center of it or causing the chaos or whatever. But we just Shane, and I'm sure Shane, if you want to add anything to this, please feel free to do so. And I'm sure, he wouldn't mind that if I went and says, but yeah, to all of you who listen to the show, all 8-9 people who listen to us regularly and stuff, Shane, Isaac, and I are, gotten to be pretty close in doing the show, and as long as we've known each other from, your old show, Such Good Shoot, and just experiences we had in another wrestling group and stuff. But right now, Shane and I would like to send out our condolences to Isaac and his family. If you're friends with Isaac on Facebook, he announced earlier today, as of when we're recording this on Friday, February 28th, that he lost his grandfather, who was he was just shy of turning 105.
Yes, 20 days, I believe.
So a little less than 3 weeks away from turning 105, which that in itself is just amazing. I mean, just to think of all the events that, you know, Isaac's grandfather was alive to witness and everything, you know, but I lost I lost my grandfather on my dad's side. It'll be 25 years ago at the end of September, and my grandfather on my mom's side passed away when she was 16, so I never met him, and so because my parents hadn't even met at the time, and I don't know if you're have any grandfathers around still or not. But I mean, just my grandfather's the one that got me into wrestling. I think Isaac said he spent time watching wrestling with his grandfather. What about you, Shane?
I have one grandpa around. The other one, much like you, I unfortunately never got to meet. But no, my grandfather that is currently around is in great health, very thankfully. But no, he was never into wrestling.
Okay.
Other than he told me stories about how every once in a while when they would have like old school territory matches. Gorgeous George, was there. He would go down sometimes and watch those. But to my knowledge, my grandpa has never been a huge wrestling fan. But yeah, no, just to circle it back around to to Isaac and his grandfather. I mean, you said pretty much everything there is to say. I mean, he lived a very long life, and got to experience many things, and to my knowledge, got to know I believe 2 great grandchildren, which is a feat many people will never be blessed enough to
right.
to be able to experience. So as Isaac knows, our thoughts are with his family during this time, and we hope to have him on again whenever his schedule will allow it, and he feels like hanging out and shooting the shit with us.
Speaking of shooting the shit, I'm gonna debut something here, kind of a little bit of what you call like a, when you're watching TV and you see a commercial for like a TV show or something, they play a clip of the current week or what's coming up just to kind of get you to watch. So, I'm gonna play a little thing that I like to call This Week on Shooting Shit, so
Shit.
you can get a little bit of a taste of what's going on with them and their episodes and stuff. And yeah, for those of you that watch us, if you've never had a chance to check them out, watch this clip and just give it a watch, because they do some really funny stuff, such as this little clip right here. This week on Shooting Shit.
Wait, Jamon, give yours and then I'll give mine. Give yours again.
Yeah, come on.
I wanted to go to WrestleMania 40, but I got divorced instead.
No.
That's sweet. Yeah, Joe's.
I wanted to go to WrestleMania 40, but turns out. Fucking clown.
When you said the butt, her
turns
butt.
out, it's better to say it turns out. Turns out.
Oh my god, dude.
Wink.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
just for legal purposes, Dennis, we might want to edit that.
To see the rest of this episode and all other episodes of Shootin' Shit, go to www.youtube.com/SHOOTINGSHT.
Oh, those rascals.
Yes, and I'm gonna say the uncensored version of what was said, it was hilarious. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Jovan laugh as hard as he did through Joey K said what he said. But Sean, being the level-headed guy that he is, and the fact that he's the most level-headed of those three is very scary. But at the end, you may heard him say, Dennis, for legal purposes, you may want to edit out that last part just because, we like to have fun, and those who've got, here, and those boys like to have fun as well, too. But we don't want to ruffle too many feathers and, get ourselves in any kind of legal trouble or get, cause any problems. So thus the beep. But let's just say the four of us who are the only ones that know what was actually said, it was pretty damn funny.
Yeah, it sounds like it was.
And
for sure.
So, but yeah, no, again, guys, please, by all means, check out the latest episode, which you just saw a little clip of just now. And,
hopefully somebody's good at lip reading.
Hopefully somebody's good at lip reading, and hopefully, that gets them some viewers. And hopefully, you know what, hey, boys, if you're listening, feel free to promote us on your show so we can maybe get some of your viewers. I'm just saying, I mean, yeah, I produce the show and everything, but I also have this show here and that. So, but we love them. They love us. We're all one big, happy, dysfunctional family.
Yeah, no, it's always fun when I get a chance to interact with those boys. It's been a while.
It's been a while, so maybe we'll have
to. Been a while.
But we got a little thing coming up here when this episode drops later today. It's called Elimination Chamber, and as far as I know, I believe they've only announced 4 matches for it. I believe.
Yeah, 4 matches, but then you obviously have the promo segment, which I'm assuming because of who is involved will probably take a similar amount of time to the Elimination Chamber matches.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, I'm pretty excited about this. I mean, we got 2 Elimination Chambers. We've got the Women's Elimination Chamber match that's going to determine who challenges Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. And then we have the Men's Elimination Chamber match that's going to determine who challenges Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. But before we get to those 2 matches, let's talk about the other 2 matches that were announced as of the show. And let's start off with the women's tag team match. We've got Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton, the WWE Women's Champion, going up against Nia Jax, the former Women's Champion, and her friend Candice LeRae. What are your thoughts on this?
It's kind of fishy to me that it's on the show itself. Just to be honest, it's a pretty strange match to have. I mean, obviously, I understand that Elimination Chamber is in Toronto this year.
It's also Trish's 25th anniversary of.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't have like an issue with it, but it is one of those things that I'm like, I really do wish that they could have featured. Just another title match or something, but it is what it is. I don't watch SmackDown, so I don't know kind of what the build has been other than, Trish and Tiffany have linked for whatever reason. And, I know that Candice and Nia have been, a duo, a kind of working team, right, for a little bit now.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this kind of got set up with obviously Tiffany cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase shortly before the Royal Rumble to take the championship off of Nia. And then I think Nia eliminated Trish at the Royal Rumble. And then, I think that's kind of where you get it in and stuff. And then obviously, like you mentioned before, it's in Toronto, so why not feature the hometown Hall of Famer who's celebrating 25 years, since she started her career. It's just for lack of a better term, eye candy. And I mean, she evolved, eye candy to one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time in the WWE Hall of Famer, and she still looks good for Rorschach. I believe she's just upper 40s, I believe, or something.
I think she's like 40, 48, 49.
Yeah, but she
But
still
yeah,
looks
no, I mean
amazing.
she's in immaculate shape.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like this should have been maybe main eventing SmackDown tonight.
Mhm.
But you know, I think what should happen is Nia Jax pinning Trish. You know, and getting more heat that way. You know,
Mhm.
getting a win. You know, albeit tag team, but still a win over Tiffany. You know, and that's an easy way to continue. You know, kind of the build towards WrestleMania. What I think will happen is Trish will pin Candice because why not?
Okay.
Sure, the
No,
crowd will pop huge. It'll be a a good way to kind of keep people invested. Get the mood up if a heel is just one, or kind of keep the mood rolling if the energy is
mhm.
positive already.
And I kind of think I see this match. I think this match is going to. I think this match is probably going to be in between. I think we're going to see this after Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because I think we're going to get the women's elimination chamber is going to kick off the show. Then I think we're going to get Sami versus Kevin, and then I think we're going to get Tiffany and Trish versus Nia and Candice, and then obviously I think The Rock versus Cody will come after that, and that'll lead us into the men's elimination chamber. But I definitely think I don't have an issue with what you said about what should happen and what probably will happen. I kind of agree. I shouldn't say kind of. I actually agree with you on that. I don't. I think Trish getting the win. I think Candice is there, and it pains me to say this because I love Candice LeRae, and I mean I'm glad she's finally starting to get used on a more consistent basis. I just wish she'd be featured more prominently because she's a lot better than what she's been able to show on TV and stuff. But I think Candice is there to eat the pin, and like I said, Trish is going to get the pin. I do think after the match, though, we're going to get some kind of appearance from Charlotte Flair as we kind of get closer to WrestleMania and get a little bit more build of this Tiffany versus Charlotte match.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like at this point they might end up figuring out a way to lump Nia in and make it a triple threat. They've shown that they're willing to do that with Royal Rumble winners and things like that at this point. Yeah, I don't know. But here's a real quick fun fact. Candice LeRae is actually a part of one of my favorite matches ever.
Ooh, and that match being
I can't remember what year it was, but it was Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I'm gonna say a bad name here. But
I think I know the match. I think I know the match you're talking about.
What is it?
Is it Candice LeRae and Joey Ryan versus the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually ever seen
Dude,
that
it's so
match,
good.
but I've heard a lot about it.
It is so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go find that match and watch
it. It's on YouTube. That's where I've seen it. It is incredible. Candice LeRae gets busted open so bad. She's just bleeding buckets. It rules. But anyways, before we get on to the next match, here's my 5-star take of the night.
Ooh.
I think that the unsanctioned match is either going to open the show or close the show. Because I think Triple H is going to gimmick the hell out of it and go, hey, we're going to run this either before we technically start the pay-per-view, obviously gimmicked.
I get what you're saying.
Or we're going to do it after we finish the pay-per-view. And they're going to do the whole, the pay-per-view is over, Next up is an unsanctioned match,
and I guess with them both being with this being, and I think they even said this, that this is the first time in all the matches they've had on WWE. I believe this is the first time they've ever gone 1-on-1 in Canada. So that's actually now that you bring that up, that's really not that far fetched.
Yeah, no, I mean, I honestly think it might close the show.
I can't, I can't, I don't dislike that.
I feel like if this were Vince doing it, it would be somewhere in the middle of the show. But I feel like Triple H values kayfabe enough that, he'd be willing to put it at the end. And then also, because they're both from Canada, the crowd's going to be, I can only assume the crowd's going to be nuclear for it. So,
yeah, I just, my only thing is just with the men that are the lineup you have for the men's elimination chamber match plus Cody and The Rock. I personally don't see anything going on after that segment and then that match. But I mean, you make a really good case.
I don't see why they would go ahead and call it unsanctioned if they're not going to, go through with it, right? Because they could have easily, called it whatever, just, made it we're gonna be in a Canadian hardcore Tim Hortons death match,
Oh man, Tim Hortons.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
by you?
yeah, no. There's a lot of Tim Hortons by me. Tim Hortons all over the place.
We don't have any. We don't have anything. We don't have any of them anywhere near where I live.
Yeah,
but,
they got the Timbits.
Yeah, that's a really good place. When I went up to Detroit over last June to go stay with Javon for the weekend to go catch a baseball game at Comerica Park. That Saturday morning of the game, that we got up and that's where we went for breakfast. And yeah, that place kicked ass.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent chain there. I mean, I'm not a big breakfast guy. I mean, I love breakfast food, but I'm not awake for breakfast, and I don't really drink coffee. So I
don't drink coffee at all, which is something I hear they're known for and stuff. That's the thing. I'm not a coffee guy, but man, those donuts.
Maybe I think you like the Timbits more than I do.
Mm-hmm. I'm a donut guy.
So the other, I guess. Well, I mean, what do you want to discuss next, Dennis? You're in charge of this ship.
Well, I mean, it's a team effort here, so I don't want
to. I just didn't know if you wanted to go into the unsanctioned match because you're kind of talking about it going on last,
I just kind of just but I mean, obviously, I want to save the chamber matches for last and stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about that. This is incredible, and this is why. And I think I've told you and Isaac this, and I tell the guys to shoot and shit this, and anybody that I talk wrestling with, that when all is said and done in the world of professional wrestling, and you have to sit out there and give, we'll just say, because it seems to always be a popular number when you do these lists, like the top 10 list of greatest rivalries of all time. I honestly feel to the bottom of my soul that you cannot have a top 10 rivalries of all time list be legit if you don't have Sammy versus KO on this list. I mean, everywhere that they've been, they've had something going on. I'm talking from we mentioned PWG with Candice LeRae, Ring of Honor, NXT, WWE. Everywhere these two have gone, they followed each other all around the world, and just everywhere they've gone, they've made magic, and they've put out some quality matches, brutal matches, bloody, violent, just all different, just about every different type of match you can think of that these guys could do. They've done, and they've done it everywhere. And it's just, you don't see that much anymore when it comes to rivalries. And I fully expect, with the unsanctioned stipulation, and also the fact that this is the first time under the WWE banner that these two have ever gone one-on-one in Canada, it's gonna be just lights out, balls out, just pure havoc, unadulterated, just chaos, and just they're going to use everything, including the kitchen sink.
Yeah. Yeah. My other 5-star prediction tonight is I think both guys bleed.
I would not be surprised to see blood at this point too.
Yeah, I think that both guys bleed. I think at this point they, WWE can, kayfabe reality, and then if people get mad, they say, look, we said it was unsanctioned. I'm sure they'll give a warning. Anything that you see in this match, is not, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, I mean it should be great. Everything they do is great. You mentioned top 10 rivalries. I think that as far as longevity of rivalry, longevity of interaction, they're top 5.
Yeah.
I also think that they might be the most interconnected people who aren't actually related in pro wrestling history.
I would 100% agree with that.
I mean, I might be missing somebody, maybe, down in, Mexico, over in Europe or in Japan. But as far as North American wrestling goes, I can't. I guess Mexico is North America. So
I get what you're trying to say, though.
North America meaning Canada and the United States. My bad.
Your geography lesson of the day, boys and girls.
Yes.
Mexico is part of North America.
Yes. But we also eat Central America. Damn the American education system. But yeah, no, this match should be incredible. There's no reason it shouldn't be. The only thing that I worry about is maybe they pull a little bit and maybe there's a flunky kind of finish, because I think the plan is obviously Kevin versus Sammy at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? I have a hard time believing that. I
don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
You think you think that it's going to be one pay-per-view match and then they're both going to go do other things?
Honestly, I feel like, because and the reason why I say this is because I feel like that there's someone that we haven't seen in a little while that I think is about ready to make his comeback to exact some revenge from Kevin Owens, who was someone that once thought Kevin Owens was his friend, and that guy being Randy Orton. I think we're going to see Orton versus KO at Mania. But I mean, you know what? If I'm wrong and we get KO versus Sammy one more time at Mania, I'm not going to hate that. I'm going to love that, because again, it's like that song the Police saying, every little thing she does is magic. Every little thing that these two do is magic. And I mean, I don't like it. And the reason why I'm so high on this rivalry is because, like I said, everywhere they've gone, they've done this, and they've been able to. It's never felt. This rivalry to me never feels like it got stale.
Well, because they just turn on each other, and then they turn on each other, and then they feud for 6 months, and then they just don't interact at all for 8 months to a year. And then they're friends for 6 months, and then they do it in spurts.
So, but I think Kevin Owens is gonna. I think Kevin Owens gets the win here, but like you said, he's gonna earn that W.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough to say, because if your prediction of Randy returning is true, I can see Randy returning and costing Kevin the match.
Or maybe showing up after the match.
Yeah, that's possible, but I mean, I feel like it would be a Randy Orton thing to do, to come out, RKO Kevin, and then cost him a huge match, and then that's
right. And that sets up your road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean it protects Kevin. Not that I think a loss from Sammy hurts Kevin ever, but
No.
yeah, I don't know. And plus, I feel like it would kind of give Sammy momentum because he doesn't, if it's not Kevin, then what is Sammy doing at WrestleMania? I saw some rustling that they might do a like a multi-man match for the Intercontinental belt. So I mean that would obviously be a good wrestling spot for Sammy.
I've heard rumblings too of maybe Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross as well.
Yeah. I mean, oh God. I hope Sammy wins that if that's the case. I do miss when they used to do the Intercontinental title ladder match at Mania, though. That was a really fun way to
get to feature more talents and stuff.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, and with it being Mania, all those guys, are always going all out. So it was. I miss that. I do hope they bring that back, even though I think it would be, a little bit of a disservice to Braun to not have him in an actual feud. So,
and obviously with Elimination Chamber being this weekend, and then WrestleMania, like after that, you're looking at, I believe there is, I want to say tomorrow here. I'm going to look at my calendar here. Give me 1 second. Okay, come on. Of course, now okay, here we go. So let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So tomorrow, from Elimination Chamber to night 1 of WrestleMania, it's 7 weeks. So there's plenty of time after the Elimination Chamber to really get your stories go. Some of your more stories going for Mania, because obviously we know we're getting Tiffany versus Charlotte, we're getting Jay versus Gunther, and so there's 2 of your top matches, and then there's, like I said, 7 weeks to fill out, let's say, we'll say 6 matches, maybe 7 each night. So you got 6. So you got 7 weeks to get 12 matches over 2 nights, which was as loaded as that roster is, they shouldn't have any problems coming up with something.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I mean, they'll probably do, because Mania is always a little bit longer, right? So I bet you they'll do probably closer to 14 matches. You
That's
think
what I'm thinking, over 2 nights and stuff. Yeah, I think you get like 7 each night. So yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, again, WrestleMania last year was probably the best show in pro wrestling. Both nights were excellent. So
yeah.
I mean, I have no doubt that this year will be excellent as well. Yeah, what do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the promo off first?
Well, before we do that, let's take a quick little commercial break. Let's feature our friends over at Waukesha Sports Cards, and when we come back, we'll talk Women's Elimination Chamber, and then we'll go into the promo off, and then we'll end the night with the Men's Chamber. So hang out with us for about 90 seconds as we take a minute to feature friends over at Waukesha Sports Cards. Hey there, it's DDJ from 5 Star Takes, and when I come up to Milwaukee to see the Brewers play, there's one place that I always make it a point to stop at. Waukesha Sports Cards. Come on, let's go inside and check out what they got. Thank you. Thank you. Be sure to stop by one of their 3 locations or go to www.waukeshasportscards.com. Shane, I'm long overdue for a trip up there.
Yeah, I know it's been a minute. We need to get an update about Waukesha and who's coming and all that.
Well, even if you're looking for an update as to future autograph signings and everything, go to waukeshasportscards.com. They've got a lot of private signings they're going to be doing here real soon. And check out your local card shows. I know they're going to be up here. They're going to be representing in Chicago here in a few weeks at the Chicago Sports Spectacular, which I'm strongly considering going because there's a couple of people there I'd like to meet. Most likely they'll be at the Detroit Sports Spectacular. I believe that's in May up by where Javon lives, and I might be heading up that weekend for that. And they're all over the place and stuff. But yeah, definitely give them a look. Check them out online if you're a baseball fan, a football fan. They got a little bit of something for everyone up there. But all right, let's get to these chamber matches in this promo. The women's elimination chamber match is going to feature. We have Liv Morgan, one half of the new WWE Women's Tag Team Championship champions, and shout out to Liv and Raquel, as well as Bianca Belair and Naomi, because that match that they had on Raw this past Monday was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
And so we got Liv Morgan, one half of the new Women's Tag Team Champions. We have Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, as well as NXT standout Roxanne Perez. And those are your 6 women, with the winner going on to wrestle Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41. And actually, you know what? I should also throw in there, it may not necessarily be Rhea Ripley, because she's going to be defending her title against Io Sky coming up this Monday night on Raw. So it very well could, there may be a little bit of a wrinkle in the fabric of this match if, Io Sky has anything to say about it. But what are your thoughts going into this match? Like, obviously, is there anything you expect to happen in this match? And then who you're picking to win?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can easily eliminate half of the field, simply because Liv Morgan, unless they lose the titles, will obviously be, involved in a women's tag title match, one of the nights at WrestleMania. I feel like you can also eliminate Bianca and Naomi, simply because they're, doing this whole, what happened to Jade Cargill, thing. And obviously I think that's probably going to lead into something at WrestleMania, involving all 3 or, 2 of them. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but I don't see either of them winning. So that leaves you with Alexa,
Bayley,
Roxy, and Bayley. I feel like they're probably going to have Alexa interact with the Wyatt 6, right? So I feel like she's going to be going to SmackDown sooner than later.
I think I thought she already. Well, I don't know the way this transfer portal. So
yeah. I mean,
those 4, and are you down to Bayley and Roxanne?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like Bayley and Roxanne will be your last 2, because they've been they've been interacting on NXT quite a bit. They've kind of been building that up. But ultimately, I feel like Bayley's going to win. She's the more established star in the main roster. I feel like Roxanne is going to already be in a great spot to full-time debut on the main roster by being the longest, running woman
from the Rumble.
Yep, in the Rumble, and then she can, be the runner-up in Elimination Chamber, and then you've already got that for her. So I can see her winning, but I feel like the more safe option is just go Bayley. You can do Bayley versus Rhea at WrestleMania.
Okay. So I've got somebody different in mind, and this is kind of my thinking. I feel like they're now that they're starting to pick up on this, who attacked Jade storyline. Obviously, I don't think anybody out with half a brain out there thinks it was actually Liv and Raquel. That's your red herring that to kind of throw people off. I feel like we're gonna get some part of resolution in this match, like because I think we haven't seen Jade for a while, and rumors is that she's been down in Orlando at the Performance Center training to make a return here, and I think we see that return on the show. And I think that one of these women, and this actually going to be the person I've been saying it's been all along. I think Jade's gonna. I think at some point during this match, and it wouldn't surprise me if it somehow it came down to Naomi and my pick to win this match, which I'll just come out and say I think it's going to be Bianca Belair, and the two tag team partners, and then I feel like it's going to come down to these two. The lights are going to go out. We're going to hear Jade's music, and she's going to storm towards the ring. She's gonna get into the chamber, and she's going to take out the person who attacked her, which I think is going to be Naomi, revealed as Naomi. So I think it comes down to the two tag partners. I think Jade shows up, basically reveals that it was Naomi that attacked her, because I mean, who benefited really more than anybody from Jade being taken out, and that was Naomi, because Naomi stepped in and took her place as the one half of the women's tag team champions. And I still, like I said, I think we're going to get some kind of grudge match with Jade and Naomi at Mania, and I think we're going to see Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley tear it up at Mania as well for that Women's World Championship. So I've actually got Bianca winning.
Wow. See, I I think that's a little bit too on the nose. I can see your premise happening, but if anything, I think that they would throw in a swerve and have Bianca be the one who did it. And maybe she feels that there was that Jade Star was growing too quick, and she was jealous,
kept her in check.
Yeah, and she was jealous as the established star, and she can cut a promo about how she just knew Naomi was never going to be that good, so she was okay with being in the tag team with her. I don't know.
I wouldn't. You know what? Honestly, I think Bianca Belair is long overdue for a heel run, and that's actually a really good way to do it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they definitely want to make Jade a big face star right now. I think it's the right move for somebody who is as green as she is. On the mic, especially at this point, she's improved leaps and bounds. In ring, but I feel like her mic work leaves a lot to be desired, and I feel like face promos are a little bit easier to cut than good heel promos.
I get it. So,
but yeah, so you've got Bianca and I've got Miss Bailey.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna we've got do you want to? I'll let you pick. Do you want to talk about the men's chamber, or do you want to talk about the promo?
Sorry, I'm blowing my nose real quick, and it's really gross. Go ahead and set up the promo segment while I'm cleaning up.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you for turning your camera off, because again, we're trying to stay away from the gross stuff after last week's episode, and boogers and snot isn't something I think would be something along those lines. So we got to kind of stay away from that, because we're better than that. So we're gonna do the promo, and
who said I'm better than that?
Oh, I said we're better than that.
You are, but I'm not. Look at my book, and I'm just kidding. Sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
Oh God, we got almost 50 minutes in. At least we made it almost 50 minutes without kind of having to go down that route. So I guess that's a good sign. But now going back to excuse me, this promo where with The Rock saying that he was going to be at the Elimination Chamber, all started with him showing up on SmackDown last week, announcing that WrestleMania 42 is going to be in New Orleans, and good for the people in New Orleans because they seem to like know how when WWE's coming in town for Mania, New Orleans definitely shows up as evidenced by WrestleManias 30 and 34. But yeah, this promo here it's really interesting because if you go by what happened at the Raw debut on Netflix with The Rock coming out to kick off the show and seemingly, shaking hands and then I guess apparently, drinking whiskey after the show with Cody, and then The Rock doing, putting the Hula Fala on Roman Reigns after Roman beat Solo. It kind of looked like The Rock was fading off into obscurity, and he was going to go, back to Hollywood, and we weren't going to see him for a while. Then all of a sudden, the night before SmackDown last week, all The Rock's going to be there. What's going to happen? And then he shows up, announces WrestleMania. Then he calls Cody out to the ring, and basically, long story short, says he wants Cody to be his champion. He wants Cody's soul. So I kind of feel like we're starting to see this final boss character of The Rock slowly evolving into the I guess the new Vince McMahon type character, where he's the evil corporate boss who's going to basically use all these superstars and kind of to push his own agenda, and who bigger to start that crusade with than your WWE champion Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I feel like it's a red herring, though. I feel like a lot of people are expecting Cody to accept, and I feel like seeing heel Cody in WWE, especially under Triple H, would be very fun. I feel like it would be, a little, a little American Nightmare-y. He might be doing some pretty despicable acts.
Oh, you say American Nightmare, not Nightmare like the stuff that we did earlier to start the show with our Nightmare booking.
No. I mean, the Cody and Brandy terrorizing Ring of Honor. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Cody is making the WWE too much money. He's the children's champion. And that means a lot, especially in WWE.
Absolutely.
I feel like, and this could totally be drug-induced fantasy booking, but what if they did the unthinkable, right? What if they had Cena win the Men's Rumble, and then they turn Cena heel on his last run in the build to Mania, or even in the Mania match? Maybe if we're fantasy booking here, Cena wins the Elimination Chamber and is on SmackDown often, right? In the lead to WrestleMania. He comes out, the next SmackDown and says, I will be here every week until WrestleMania because I'm John Cena, whatever. And then it's just The Rock doing things to make Cena's life a living hell every single week, and he's like, you're going to be my champion, and then, they do the McMahon Austin at WrestleMania thing with Cena.
It would be definitely interesting.
Ooh.
And
now I don't think that's going to happen, but
no, I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. I felt like if this were, God, let's say 10 years ago, that this would be more of a possibility, because I think it took, because we had all those years from it's like 2006 to basically, I want to say, eventually once he stopped being a full-timer and started getting more involved in Hollywood and stuff, where you had the Let's Go Cena Chuck sucks chance. And now they finally gotten to the point where he's been gone, but they bring him back, and the crowd just seems to universally love him and stuff, and it's basically all Let's Go Cena and stuff. I feel like it would be at least 10 years too late if to turn him heel. I want to say, I feel like it's going to be one of those things that as much as I love Cody and the fact that the kids love him and stuff, I feel like what I think is going to happen with this is, and part of me hopes I'm wrong, but part of me hopes I'm right because I would love to see this. I kind of would love to see. It's when you kind of think about it, it goes to, I'm going to kind of bring up Star Wars, and you think about when the Emperor was trying to get Anakin. So this is going to the prequel trilogy. Anakin to turn on Obi-Wan and join the dark side. He kind of, I think wore him down, so to speak, to eventually got in his head so much to where when it came right down to it, and Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, which is actually celebrating 25 years of since its release. Or actually, I'm sorry, 20 years, excuse me. I don't know why I keep thinking it was out in 2000 when it came out in 2005. But it was, when Obi-Wan had the Emperor dead to rights, or not Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson had him dead to rights, and then Anakin, ended up turning on the Jedi and taking out Samuel L. Jackson's character. God, and I just said his name, and now I can't remember what it was. Mace Windu, excuse me, and then became part of the dark side. I feel like that's what's going to happen here. Is I think The Rock's going to get it's so into Cody's head that I think it's going to break Cody down mentally, and we're going to see something where at Mania, and I'm going to kind of tie this into who I think is going to win. I feel like John Cena is going to win, and I feel like we're going to get Cena versus Cody, and it's going to get to a point where The Rock's going to get involved, and Cena's going to try to take out Cody, or not Cody, excuse me, The Rock. And, Cena's going to be like to Cody, he's like, here's your chance. Take him out, hit him. And then Cody turns on Cena, wins the match, turns heel, and ends up, having his arm raised by The Rock because The Rock has his champion at Mania. So I that's what I think is going to happen. And so, yeah, so basically with all that being said, I'm picking John Cena to win.
Men's Rumble.
Elimination Chamber.
No, yeah, sorry, I've been saying Rumble. I got my mind on the Rumble. Yeah, yeet. But so it's what, Cena, Punk, Drew,
Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, and Logan Paul.
Seth and Logan. My friend Nick from Tennessee says Seth looks like a fucking idiot. He wanted me to mention that.
My nephew Adonis has become, since he started getting back into wrestling, Seth has become one of his favorites. So
yeah, I mean, Seth is a top 5 worker in the world.
Agreed.
If you ask me, he is so underrated. It's unbelievable. But I mean, Logan's not winning, right? Damian Priest is not.
I hope he doesn't.
Damian Priest is not winning. I guess Seth could win, but I mean the continuous working theory is that Roman shows up at Elimination Chamber, takes Seth out in some way, costs him the match. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's, I would put a lot of the money in my bank account on that happening if, you were able to bet on the Elimination Chamber. So I feel like he's out, which leaves Punk, Cena, and
Drew.
I mean, and really, I could see, any of these guys winning, but I feel like the odds-on favorite is Cena. I feel like you want to do, Cena's probably last heavyweight championship match at WrestleMania. If he wins, he breaks the record at WrestleMania. Even if he doesn't, it still took place there. It makes it feel even more like a WrestleMania match, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, no, I feel like Cena wins, certainly.
All right. Well, we are just about hitting that hour, and we covered everything we wanted to say, and we kept it clean this time. So Shane, well done. And on that note, is there anything else you got, Shane, before we say goodnight?
Oh. If we're booking by pure talent alone, Gigi Dolan should be headlining WrestleMania next year.
What?
You said if there's anything else that I wanted to say it. So I figured I would just, Gigi Dolan should do a Tessa Blanchard run and run for the heavyweight championship.
I got nothing.
Don't leave the door open for me to say things. You should know better. I have to make up for both me and Isaac. Oh, dude. You a Gigi Dolan hater?
It's not that I'm a hater. It's just...
She could beat Drew up.
Sorry, bro. Legends of the Ring Sting, man. This is a great figure, old school figure. Looks great. It's Sting! Old school Sting from WCW. Guys, you know us, 3/4 of the Shooting Shit team, and we're here with a listener just like you guys. This is Jimmy from Super Powers Comics.
My friend of almost 20 years. He's known him since you were 12.
If you know people in Chicago, you probably know Dennis because he knows half the town, of course. But shooters, if you need action figures, comics, wrestling memorabilia, we just showed you Sting. Superpowers Comics will put up their QR code so you can get a good look at everything they have coming. Give it a shot, shooters. Get your superpowers on and get your comics from our friend Jimmy, who listens just like you.
Attention wrestling fans and fans of Shootin' Shit podcasts. You can now be one of the cool kids by going to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy the official Shootin' Shit t-shirt. Buy it now and be there at ringside.
This episode and all episodes of 5 Star Takes are now available on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@5StarTakes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Get all of your 5 Star Takes news and updates by going to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/SHOOTINSHT. And as always, thanks for watching.